Today on Lake Commandos,
I came with the expectations of beating Steve.
Steve Pennaz heads south to the Lone Star State for an old-fashioned slab crappie shootout with Texas fisheries biologist Reese Sparrow.
That's an insane crappie right there.
It's fast action on fat slabs and a Texas-sized commando battle.
I love fishing new water. The challenge is always the same. Find fish, trigger strikes. Ooh, that's a big fish. But what I really love is beating the other guy. I got a fish. This is Lake Commandos.
They say everything's bigger in Texas, and over the years, the Lake Commandos have proven that certainly holds true for the bass. But what about other fish, like black crappie? Today, Steve Pennaz joins East Texas State Fish Hatchery Manager Reese Sparrow on a commando quest for king-sized crappies.
Let's go take a look at this lake. All right, I'm gonna be interested to see what water clarity is like.
Their mission? Locate and catch midwinter black crappie under post-cold front conditions. And the playing field is a small, deep, reclaimed East Texas pit mine reservoir that is just over 100 acres in size, but has a max depth of over 100 feet.
You know, water clarity is actually really good. Yes, it is. Better than I thought, and there's not as much grass as I thought. Good hard sand bottom.
Right.
Wow. You can almost start seeing the other shoreline over here. If this stuff burns off, it's gonna warm up.
Yes, it is.
Let's go get in the water.
Okay. We're fishing East Texas Lake. It's a reclamation lake. It was a pit mine that they, when it was over, they reclaimed it, built it back into a lake. Today it's winter, obviously. We got a little fog this morning. It's cold. I'm thinking the fish are going to be a little lethargic. So today I'll be throwing a lightweight 6.6 Veritas rod, light spinning tackle, trilene 6-pound mono line. For the bait that I'm throwing today, I'm throwing an atomic pulse tube. Crappie may be a little finicky. It'll allow me to downsize and maybe catch them when they're not really hungry, but maybe just entice them to eat something. Hopefully, with this rig, I'll send Steve back to the north and he can tell his friends about all the fish he saw get caught today.
Reese, come on, dude. I know the tubes are great, but we gotta find these fish first. That's how I want to throw a crankbait. Crappies and crankbaits are made for each other, and what I like about the small flicker shads, this is a number 5, is I can cover a lot of water and I can cover it fast. And I like the fact that these bigger crappie, fish in that 1.5 pound, 2.5 pound range, love a crankbait over a jig. I'm gonna throw it on 6-pound nanofill. I've got it tied direct. I'm not worried about line at all. I just want to make long casts into nanofill. No other line cast better. I'm gonna throw this on a lightweight 6-foot 6-inch Vendetta rod from Abu Garcia. I've got a size 10 Revo spinning reel. It's a nice lightweight combo, but I've got good backbone in case I hook a bass. But the bottom line is this bait, this rod, this reel is gonna take Reese down today.
As guest, Reese has the choice of taking control of the boat and fishing his pattern for the first 2 hours or the second 2 hours. He has decided to let Steve have control to start things off, and they begin by slow trolling to try and locate active fish.
10 feet here. I'm gonna head out just a little deeper. These baits should run down 12 feet on these. Slow us down a little bit. Got one? Is that a crappie? Jeepers. Flicker shad, baby, huh?
Flicker shad.
Hey, we got one.
He did it like a train, too.
Did he really?
Yeah, he did. As far as going to a lake that you haven't been to for a while or are not familiar with, it's like figuring out a puzzle, trying to figure out where the fish are at and what they want to bite. I'm pretty confident that we went overfished this morning when we were searching for them with crankbaits, that we were just maybe moving a little fast, and maybe the baits were over the top of their head.
Look at that. Oh, man. Lift him in. You know, one of the things I like right now, what I'm seeing, is look at that bait. That fish has the front hook and he has the back hook. This fish was eating this aggressively. He liked the color, he liked the presentation. Not a giant crappie, I'm gonna let that go. I thought he was bigger than that, but it's number 2.
Our Texas showdown is off to a good start, but with these 2 crappie commandos in the boat, there's no telling what we'll see today.
That is one of the biggest crappies I've ever seen.
Lake Commandos is brought to you by Ranger Boats, still building legends one at a time. Trilene, Anglers Trust Berkeley Trilene. Abu Garcia, for life. Power Pole, shallow water anchor. Swift, silent, secure. Garmin, the clearest scanning sonar images on the water. And by Plano, protect your passion. On a small reservoir in East Texas, Steve Pennaz is in a big crappie contest with Texas native Reese Sparrow. And Reese is one guy who knows his fish. As a manager of the East Texas State Fish Hatchery, he oversees the production of over 5 million fingerlings each year, including bass, catfish, and a variety of other game fish for use in stocking efforts across the state.
Hey, Reese is a good stick. This guy enjoys crappie fishing. He came to the lake with a plan today. He understood the little nuances of the fish.
We're throwing 2 different size crankbaits. His is a little bigger, larger than mine. His goes a little deeper than mine. Mine's more of the finesse, different colors. We hit a few fish early and thought we got on something, but with crappie, with their patterns this time of year, typically if you find one crappie, you find a lot of crappies where they'll school up together. But we haven't found it yet.
I tell you what, this is an amazing fishery. We are out here fishing crappie and we got a lot of crappie, but we caught a lot of incidental bass.
You ain't showed yourself yet.
Oh, it's a bass.
That's a pretty fish.
Well, that's gorgeous, isn't that? That's gorgeous.
Oh, there's a good one.
A bass?
No, I think it hit like a crappie.
Really?
Yeah, just kind of.
Some fish down.
Oh yeah.
Whoa, that's a big crappie.
Yeah.
You want a net on that?
Oh, I'll get him right here. Let's see.
That thing is huge. Look at that. I heard this lake had some big crappie in it, but that, look at this, the mouth, it looks like a largemouth. That's an insane crappie right there. We're about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours into the day. We've got 4 crappie, but Reese just caught an absolute stud. And so we're switching over from crankbaits now. We've got a real high sun. We've got virtually no wind. And we're gonna go a little more finesse. I'm gonna throw a 3-inch ripple shad. I know he's gonna start throwing in a tube, but I like the ripple shad. It's got a good swim action. It's a little bit bigger profile than what he's gonna be using. And if there's crappie in here that weigh 2.5, 3, 4 pounds, I'm gonna go after the big fish. Hey, look at the size of this crappie. Oh, man! Look at that, I thought it was a bass. Woo!
Oh, yeah, look at that one.
Oh, man! 3-inch ripple shad doesn't look that big in a mouth that big, does it? Unbelievable. Look at this crappie's got a black stripe on his back. Some of them have it, some of it don't, but that's 1.75 pounds. Fry pan?
Frying pan.
Frying pan.
And the fisheries like this, it's a good thing to take fish out. These fish will compete with the largemouth bass. Crappie are notoriously about getting overpopulated in the reservoirs. They get overpopulated, their growth stunts. So it's a good thing to take some fish out and to enjoy what we caught today.
He's got us trolling along this edge. You can see on the Garmin we've got a pretty good number of fish down there, but we're just not getting them to go. And I don't know if it's this high sun, but it's definitely out more comfortable than it was this morning with the fog. There was one, got him on a first cast. I think this is a crappie too. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That white jig head. Look at the size of these fish. That is a big black crappie right there. Boats and outboards live tough lives in extreme environments. That's why I always keep a few items on board to handle those problems if they arise. One of the most valuable is a basic toolkit, which I've used for everything from replacing faulty spark plugs to tightening loose bolts. I also keep an extra propeller and propeller wrench. To get where the fish are, I often run in tight waters and don't always get back to the ramp without running into something. Having the insurance of an extra prop on board has saved me over the years. To keep my boat looking good, I spray it down when trailering it with Yamalube YamaClean and wipe it off with a clean rag to keep water spots and scum lines at bay. A spare filter can be a lifesaver when you run into a batch of bad fuel, asking carrying a set of new spark plugs. Hey, these are inexpensive items, but without them, my outboard's dead in the water. When it comes to achieving peak performance, maintenance matters.
This segment is brought to you by Yeti Coolers. Yeti, wildly stronger, keep ice longer. After contacting a handful of fish with Steve's crankbait pattern, including a true trophy crappie, the Commandos have switched to Reese's slower, more methodical atomic pulse tube plan. It appears it was the right move at the right time, and this head-to-head battle is about to burst wide open.
There's one, got him. Yep, that was that school right behind us. Got one, guy. Yeah, it's a big crappie. Oh yeah. Clobbered it too.
Right underneath the boat, there's a bunch of them.
Is there?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's that school we went by. Great eating fish right here. Yeah, definitely a slow jig. Yep, you got him there.
There's another one.
In fact, you've got a lighter jig head than I do.
That was almost sitting right on the bottom.
Yeah.
That's a nice one. Not the big ones we're looking for, but that's a nice one. The reason I like to throw a tube bait is just simply that I can slow down. It's a finesse bait. I like to throw an 1.5 inch or 2 inch tube a lot of times. The little ring tube that we threw today, it presents a little more a subtle drop when it falls. And that's a lot to do with catching crappie is slowing down, that the bait doesn't fall past them so fast. Oh, missed him.
Sorry to hear that.
Don't sound too sincere.
Oh no!
I hate to hear that.
I just can't believe you set the hook and it's like a rock. Here's a sign that the fish really wanted the bait. That's when things are going well, right there. There, he's got one now.
That one took off running. I'm not too sure that's a
Yes,
crotch. It is, yeah.
Double, the first double of the day. So I think we figured it out. The color's right, it's pink, it's white, and it's fishing very, very slow along the bottom between 8 and 11 feet of water. And now what we're trying to do is just kind of experiment there. It's got a fish. This might be a bluegill with small tubes and some other baits, but it's fighting like a bluegill. Oh yeah, look at that. And but once you figure out a pattern, if you got the right color, the right presentation, you're in the right spot, it seems like fishing can be almost magic.
The average size of fish that we caught today was above average. Most fish that you catch, you're looking at a lot of 10 and 11 inch fish. You catch them 12 and 13s every now and then. The fish that we caught today, majority of them were in the pound and a quarter, pound and a half range, up into the 2 pound range. Caught one that was almost 2 3/4. This fishery is a phenomenal fishery with above average crappie size.
The scoreboard has been on fire trying to keep up with this frantic back and forth battle. Neither guy will give an inch. And there's no doubt we're going down to the wire in East Texas.
No! No!
Lake Commandos is brought to you by Yamaha Marine. Reliability starts here. Yeti, wildly stronger. Keep ice longer. Fraybill, trusted gear since 1938. Berkeley Power Bait. Fish bite and won't let go. And by Abu Garcia, for life. The pressure is mounting on an East Texas reservoir for Steve Pennaz and Reese Sparrow. Even after landing dozens of beautiful black crappies, only a few fish separate these two experienced Lake Commandos. This battle is going to come down to 1 or 2 bites, so Steve Pennaz is going to make a change to try and make a move.
This is probably the most torrid crappie bite I've ever been on in terms of big fish. We've had numbers of fish between 1.5 pounds and maybe 2 1/4 pounds. We had one that was pushing 3 pounds. And they're eating the tubes extremely well, but we're catching a lot of fish in that smaller size. I'm gonna see if we can get one in that 2.5 to 3 or bigger size frame. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna rig up a little swim bait, and I don't know which color to go with. I may start with this fire tiger pattern, and I'm gonna throw it on a jig head with a little spinner on it, which is gonna be probably an issue in terms of running with the swim bait. Now that's not your typical crappie bait right there, but these aren't your typical crappies, and I really don't wanna waste this opportunity to see if I can get one of those, massive fish.
Yeah, I think it is.
It's a crappie.
Yep.
I got another fish. This might be a crappie. Like that, I think it is.
Big crappie.
Look at this. Look at that thing ate. Now you think a crappie is eating the small type of stuff, but that fish just ate a 4-inch swim bait. And you look at the size of their mouth, it's easily fit in there. These crappies will eat bigger baits than a lot of people think, and that's not even close to the size that we've been getting in terms of average. Hey, I've been on some awesome crappie bites before, but nothing like this in terms of size. We caught well over 100 fish, and I bet you the average was probably 1.25 pounds, 1.5 pounds. Is that a white crappie?
Yes. No, that's a black crappie.
That's a black.
Yeah.
Shaped almost like a white. Longer, thinner.
Yeah.
Hey, what can I say about Texas? It's a great state for fishing, world-class bass fishing, world-class crappie fishing. These guys do a great job managing their fisheries.
All right.
Well, fitting end right there, huh?
Yes, it is.
Well, I think at the first time of Lake Commandos history, we're gonna have a tie. So,
Okay.
I mean, I can't tell if we got 50 crappies apiece or 60 crappies apiece, but
We'll go with
caught
60.
a lot.
We'll go with
I think
60
we
apiece.
can, but what an amazing day. We got a big batch of fish to clean back at the house, and we're gonna get the peanut oil going.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I'd like to thank you.
I appreciate it.
Thanks for sharing Texas with me.
Thanks for taking me fishing today.
All right, let's let that bass go with him.
Okay. I'm pretty competitive, and when I go fishing, a lot of times it's not the competition, but I knew today was a little bit of competition, so I came with expectations of beating Steve.
You think you did?
I think it was a tie. We're going to go with a tie.